All right, welcome. Today we are doing Influencers on the Run, Volume 2 with a special guest from Sudan. Let's go. All right, Mr. Usman, how are you? Can you hear me? Maybe it's me, maybe it's me. Can't hear your audio. I can't hear you. All right, there we go. It says it should be working. Can you hear me? Oh, 1 second, wait. Unmute, unmute, unmute.
Unmute. Okay.
All right, welcome. I can hear you, I can hear you.
All right. Cool.
All right, what's going on, man?
I'm good, thanks.
How's life?
Nice to meet you. How's everything?
Everything is fantastic. We're finally, happy to have you on this live call. You know what I'm saying? So before we get into the beautiful lions, okay? All right.
Yeah.
Tell us about you and your organization and what you're up to.
Yeah, basically, it all started in January. I went to a local park with my son, and what happened is I saw some. I found that they had that animal park. I didn't know they had an animal park at the park I went to, and I was surprised to see that they had 5 lions, and 3 of them were like completely starved. They were just on the brink of dying. They were just skeletons. And I immediately started talking with the guys at the park. I asked them what the problem was. And yeah, a bit of context, like Sudan has been going through a really tough recession. We've had a revolution, a regime that was around for like 30 years was kicked out. So there was a lot of, leftover problems. So anyway, there's a lot of the big recession going on. Prices are skyrocketed for everything. So anyway, when I started talking to the guys at the park, they were saying that naturally they're suffering like everybody else, and they don't have the funds to feed animals. So I told them, you know what, that's not an excuse. These all the animals at the park are they need to be fed, they need to be taken care of. And I started asking them how I can help. And I found they weren't very useful. I told them I can go buy some meat now, any food, but they told me no, you need to meet the guys at the guys in charge. Try coming tomorrow. And I told them, you know what, these animals might not even make it to tomorrow. That's how bad they were. And what I did, I went back in, took some more pictures and videos, and I started an online campaign to raise awareness that there's a park here in Khartoum, and there's a lot of starving animals, and these people really don't care about them. So we really need to get something running, and start get some experts in, and some professionals, and volunteers. And within hours the post went viral, not just locally but internationally. That same night I was getting calls from all over the world, from as far as Vienna. So I was really surprised how fast it took off. And the next day we found that all the officials, local officials, were at the park the next morning. And we had a meeting with them, and we started looking for solutions. And the first step was medical care for the animals. Unfortunately, one of the lions, it was too late. Even after we got her some medication and some food, she passed away within like 2 days. But we managed to save the other 4 lions, and there's also 2 hyenas and lots of birds and turtles and all sorts of animals. So, uh, after the success of saving those animals, we started moving around the country and looking at other parks and other places, and we found that it's a bigger problem than just this park. There's like a lot of caged lions and other big animals. But the biggest problem was the lions, because these lions were being brought in as pets or in parks, and they're locked up in really small cages. And the lion needs a lot of a lot of meat, a lot of food, a lot of care. They're being mistreated and malnourished. So we started to make a bigger campaign so that we can make a rescue center for all these lions and other wild animals all around the country, to be able to save them. We did have an organization that helped us with the rescue mission. The name was Four Paws. They came from Vienna, but they have offices all around the world. They're professionals, and they specialize in this sort of thing. But they weren't able to do as much as they wanted to, because of the country's a bit skeptical of foreign aid and foreign workers and things like that.
You can't blame them.
But anyway, yeah, we're trying to finish what they started by building a rescue center for these wild animals. And about 2 months ago, another park, they were selling off some of their lion cubs. And these cubs, they end up being smuggled outside of the country. They either go become pets in somebody's house, or they're raised in there's some farms that raise cubs to be hunted in safari trips. So either way, we didn't want these cubs to leave the country or be mistreated. So what we did was we bought these cubs, and I'm taking care of them at home now. I've set up a cage and a big area for them to live in, and we're hoping within 1 month to have a new place set up for them, and as well as the other animals in the park and lots of other lions. We have maybe close to 6 or 7 lions we want to rehouse, and there's a lot of other wildlife that's endangered, and they're not getting proper care or proper facilities for them to be in.
Well, so let's see those 2 lions that you said that you guys got.
Yeah.
Have you named them? Have you named them?
There's a male and female. One of them is called Moody, and another one is Mina. Moody's the male.
Okay.
And Mina is the female.
Okay. And also, I want to ask you too, I'm saying, so are you like a veterinarian, I'm saying?
No, my degree, I'm a software engineer.
Okay.
I have an IT company. I just love animals, and I've raised a lot of different kind of animals at home. Right now I have dogs at home, but I'm just an animal lover. So this whole rescue came naturally.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt. So let's talk about the process of how it's been trying to make this center for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is Moody. This is the male.
Hello, Moody. How are you? All the way from outside of the world, Mr. Moody. Okay.
That's Mina at the back.
Oh, mashallah.
You can see her.
Allah, subhanallah. I see you, animals. Okay.
Thing is that I don't want to portray a false image that lions should be kept as pets or anything, because at the end of the day they're wild animals and they're unpredictable.
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
so it's important to stress that we don't promote them being raised as pets. Uh, I think a lot of people have watched what's it called, the Tiger King documentary, and they've had a laugh. But it's a serious problem because like tigers and lions, these exotic pets are being raised as pets at home, and people don't understand how big a responsibility is. Like right now, besides these two, I still take care of there's right now three lions and two hyenas that we feed daily. The same park that we started the rescue mission in. We're still in charge of the feeding and caring for the animals because the country doesn't have the budget to do so. So we're still taking care of them. So it's a really big responsibility.
Got you. Got you. Let's talk about, so let's talk about, the process, because I myself, and for those of you who are watching, you guys can go watch the video that they've created on what they're going to do with the funds. So let's talk about the rescue center that you guys are working on, okay? So like I've seen some updates, but let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning where you guys started at, all the way to the process where you guys are at now and the end goal.
Yeah. So the rescue center, we spent a few months on the planning, and hey, these guys love to bite. We spent a few months with the planning, and we found a really suitable farmland outside of Khartoum, and we're working on 7 acres. And basically, we're going to be providing like right now each lion has about less than 100 meters squared as a cage, and it's just a dark cement prison, really. So right now we're moving to have each lion in over 500 meters squared, or maybe sometimes up to 1,000 meters. It depends on how compatible the lions are with each other. And it's going to be an open space, which is a really hard thing to design because it has to be really strong reinforced steel, and you have to have like electric fence and really high up, and it's really technical. So we're working with a high specification for them. So it's going to be open space, and they're going to have like a pond. They're going to have a playground to play in, all sorts of facilities to keep them entertained. The most important thing with is to have to enrich their lives, not just have them in like a prison their whole life, which is a real problem. Like we've had like a lion and a hyena. They gave birth recently, but the offspring didn't survive because of the harsh conditions that they're in. So we're hoping that these new facilities will help them live a better life and have better offspring. Where we also want to control the reproduction of these lions, because they can reproduce really fast and create another bigger problem of having too much. That's the problem of raising lions, is that if you have too many, it's hard to take care of them, to feed them, and the people start selling them off and starting a whole trade. So we want to control them and control them, and so it's not just like a breeding ground. And we want to look into ways that we can reintroduce them back into the wild.
Let's talk about
because we have a very big national park here in Sudan. And unfortunately, a lot of the wild animals have been hunted or smuggled out of the country. So we've lost a lot of amazing species like giraffe and the tigers and the elephants. So what we want to do is reintroduce these, especially the lions. We want to take care of the lions, reintroduce them, because their population is very small in this park. So we want to see ways that because it's a really hard thing to reintroduce captive lions back into the wild. So we want to try to see if that's possible with expert organizations. Gotcha. And we want to see about collaboration with other countries that we can bring back species that we've lost from the national parks, because we've seen case studies of this being done in Rwanda, Rwanda, they have excellent national park there. It's called the Kagera. And they've also brought captive lions back from Europe and rhinos and things like that. So we want to work the same way as them, and with collaboration with other countries, other organizations, bring promote the wildlife back again,
Yeah.
and not and fight against wildlife trafficking, which is a problem, and
No
especially
doubt.
with lions, because there's a lot of breeding of lions for hunting, and that's a really big issue right now.
Let's go back. I do have a question, okay? You said, you posted stuff, took some pictures, made some videos, and posted online, and it went viral, okay?
Yeah,
Let's talk about the part. You said the officials came the next day, and you guys are working together. So, when you say officials, you mean Sudanese officials?
yeah, the wildlife authority, and the minister, also the minister of animal resources, but we're really dealing with mostly with the wildlife authority, because they're in charge of the wildlife animals around Khartoum and this park.
Okay, so let's talk about how you guys are working together. And I know, we said a lot. We've talked a lot about the problems. We've talked a lot
I,
about the
I,
problems.
I can't hear you very well.
Let me say it again. Can you hear me now?
It's a bit low.
Can you hear me? So I said we've talked a lot about the problem. We've talked a lot about the problems. Okay. Now I wanted
Yeah.
to know about, what about some of the solutions you guys are working with the park together? Like, what have you and the officials, talked about, and what else have you guys, besides making the park, what else are you guys working on jointly?
So basically, in terms of the officials, they don't have the budget to do something big or professional here in the country, because there's a lot of priorities right now. There's the country as a whole has problems in healthcare, education, infrastructure. So this specific ministry doesn't have the budget to do something big for the animals. So that's why we've stepped in. We've done a online campaign to raise funds. We're even using some of our own money because it's a really important issue, and it can't wait. We can't wait until the country is settled and there's a budget for it, because we've lost already a lot of species and animals in the country. So we see it as a priority. This problem, highlighted a bigger problem, and the most important thing is urgency right now, because this center takes a while to get set up, and it'll take a while for it to have a big effect on the country and the country's wildlife. And the good thing is that we have cooperation from the wildlife authority, because they know it's a big problem. There's like a lot of conflict zones around Sudan, and the problem is there's a lot of endangered species of monkeys, of deer, of buffalo in a lot of areas, and they don't have the facilities to take care of the animals from these places where there's conflict. So they really support us, and we're going to be in collaboration with them, that we set up the facility, and they will help us, relocate endangered animals, so that we can, set up a place for them that they can be safe and be reintroduced in other places.
Okay.
So the good thing is we have complete cooperation from the government and the authorities. And the good thing is that they recognize there is a problem and they can't solve it on their own. So they've welcomed our initiative, and that's a really positive step. And the thing is, like I said before, there is an international organization that's offered to do a lot of the work that we're trying to do. But the problem is that they haven't got a lot of support from the government, because they're foreign organization. They're still met with difficulties and so on. So we're trying to do the same work as them, and with their collaboration, but indirectly, because until the government, can accept their full participation. But yeah. all in
Understand.
all, we just want to save time, and we want to continue with the the rescue mission of all these animals as fast as possible.
Definitely understand that. So tell us where you are now in the building of the facility. Where you're at with the building so far?
Yeah, right now we're at we're starting with a big enclosure, which is 1,000 meters squared. We've finished fabricating all the metal work for it, and there's a few problems in the country right now. There's a few protests and really hard restrictions with the coronavirus, and there's a curfew. There's an early curfew for the next few days, but within a week we hope to be working on site and fixing the structure for this new enclosure. So yeah, we have three big enclosures set up just for lions, and the first one, we hope that by the end of July it'll be set up and working. We've already started also the fabrication of other enclosures, but we're just going to focus on the first one because of our budgeting right now. We don't have the budget to do the whole project in one go. We have to work in phases. So the first phase is just focusing on lions, because right now they're the most animals at risk at this park. We lost a lion about a month ago, really suddenly, and that's the second lion to die at the park. And we also lost one of the cubs. The lions, they're actually very sensitive animals. They really need a big place, a clean place, and they really need to be enriched. You can't just have them locked up without any sort of enrichment in their lives, because they do have feelings and they do get bored.
Got you, got you. So I have a few more questions for you, okay? So,
Yeah.
you know, the social media really brought it to the attention, okay? So let's say for
Yeah.
those who can't donate, you know what I'm saying? What are some of the
Yeah.
best ways we can continue the social media awareness?
Yeah. For people that can't donate, we really appreciate them just being involved, following our story, because it's a really interesting story, and we hope that it has a happy ending at the end, and it shows you how that social media can be used for good, can be used for positive change. So it's a really good example that people can follow, and just support us with your likes and shares and things like that, because we did get a lot of attention from the media, from all the big channels and newspapers. They've done interviews with us, and it's all because of people sharing our story and getting involved. So there's a lot that people can do.
So what hashtags should we be using to make sure that people can come and get connected directly to what you're doing and donate? What hashtag should be used?
Yeah, the hashtag is Sudan Animal Rescue, all one word, Sudan Animal Rescue, and it's the same as our website, SudanAnimalRescue.com, and the website has all the links to our social media and our GoFund page. So yeah, that hashtag, if people follow it, they can see how the story started from the beginning, from January until now. They can follow all our posts.
Okay. And another question I wanted to ask you as well is, okay, you said you're in the IT, okay? You're a software
Yeah.
engineer. How does that
Yeah.
come into play with what you're doing now with the animals, or how do you plan to make it come together as well?
Yeah, I think my IT background helped a lot, because we've done a website and a social media page, and we do regular videos and posters and pictures, and I think that my IT background helped out, because this issue was started online, and our supporters and followers are following us online, and they appreciate the content, the enriched content that we provide, like online, the videos, the regular videos that are edited, even this new rescue center. I spent a lot of time on the design and graphics and animation for the park, the new rescue center. I think that helped a lot because people saw that we have a really good vision, and it's really well portrayed for everybody. And yeah, I think everything right now depends on having a good image online. So it definitely helped out.
Got you, got you. So before we end this again, before we finish up and end it, you know what I'm saying? We do want to
Yeah.
thank you, and also anything else the people should know, anything else that they can do, or anything else you want to say?
Yeah, just that people to follow the story and raise awareness about wildlife, because it's a really important issue. And yeah, just share the story and get involved. And yeah, and anybody else that sees anything that needs changes, that they shouldn't give up. You see anything, take a photo, start a hashtag, start a whole campaign. Because 6 months ago we had nothing to do with lions or or wildlife or anything. And we started the campaign, and we found the support. People, we had a lot of people coming from all over the world to help us. So anything is possible as long as you're serious about making some changes.
Got you, most definitely. I mean, we want to thank you, Usman, for coming on Influencers on the Run, because we see the work you're doing,
Thank
you
you.
know, and we really appreciate you coming up on here. Okay. We really
Yep.
appreciate you coming up on here. And also, we'll be sending you this video as well. Okay. We'll be sending you this
Yep.
video as well, and we'll post it on Instagram and
Okay.
YouTube. Okay. And
All
before
right.
we go, can we see the lions one more time that we hope to be helping you, you know, set up and rescue and making sure they're live?
Uh, they're a bit scared right now.
No problem. No problem. No problem. You know what I'm saying? No problem.
This is Moody.
Mr. Moody, mashallah. We can't wait to see you in the animal shelter. I'm sorry, in the animal rescue center, excuse me. You know. All right.
Okay.
All right, Usman.
Yep.
All right, man. Thank you for the good work. Keep
Okay.
it up. You know, keep us updated, and we will continue to follow your story, and we will make
All
sure
right.
that we spread awareness on our side. And we will keep at you. We will keep following you. We cannot wait to see the next steps. And hopefully we'll be able to go live again. And
Okay.
see what else you're up to. Hey, well, go on.
Okay.
All right, brother.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
I will.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. Thank you guys again. That was Influencers on the Run Volume 2. And hey, comment sections, and again, everything you need, of course, have the link where you can see this ad, and also use the hashtag. And if you can, donate money. Thanks you again. This is Influencers on the Run. Have a wonderful day.